So first of all, before I begin describing this, good to talk with all of you again and be with you on the phone call. Just want everybody to know, perhaps I entered late, so I'm not sure if Roger mentioned it, but the new Restore is being bottled as we speak, and we'll be ready to go out the door after Christmas. So we are close to a week away. Just maybe a day or so around, it could be the Monday right after Christmas, it could be the Saturday after Christmas, but right around there we're going to begin shipping out the new Restore. So we're very, very excited that we've gotten to the end of this development and the first production run. And we've set up so those production runs can continue as long as we can get it out to the people who need it. So anyway, Roger, the ingredients that were in the previous version of Restore, taro still bean, we had the lemon and orange oils, we had frankincense, of course the black seed oil and the olive leaf and the olive oil and the astaxanthin. And those were all geared toward doing specific tasks, even though they overlap in a broad approach to general mitochondrial wellness. People received some pain reduction, turning down of inflammation. People received emotional support, like you said, from those oils. But this time around, we were looking at feedback from people. We were looking at what we could do extra with this particular version of Restore. And one thing that came to mind upon many conversations was that there are a lot of fans of the Mind and Perform that we had made up until recently. And what would be nice is to not only maximize the benefits that we already had in Restore, turn those effects up, but also to add to them even more mitochondrial energy support for one thing. So to that extent, what we've done is we've added the majority of ingredients from Perform to this oil. So what are those ingredients and what do they do? Well, to make a long story short, those ingredients were designed to work together. Those are CoQ10. You have, that's in the form of ubiquinone. For those of you who know that, cellular mitochondrial support. We've got turmeric, which is, a lot of you have heard of curcumin. Turmeric is the root, the spice from which curcumin comes. There are water-soluble, alcohol-soluble, and oil-soluble portions of turmeric. And we've designed this to have the oil-soluble parts of the turmeric as well as some of the compounds similar to and including curcumin in it. Of course, astaxanthin, CoQ10, as I mentioned. We also have acetyl L-carnitine, arlipoic acid, and piperine, which were in the original Perform. Now, what are these there for? These ingredients all work synergistically together to boost mitochondrial health, to increase antioxidant support against free radicals in the cell, and in general, not only will raise your energy levels, but also will help all cell function to do what it needs to do, no matter what organ system it's in. So this should be a big, big energy boost, even over what you've experienced with the last Restore. So we are very excited about that. Next, I added ingredients that are considered adaptogenic. So an adaptogen is a substance that helps your body maintain homeostasis. That is to say, under conditions of stress, one way or another, your body will maintain its own health within the specs that it's designed to operate in, so that the conditions in your body don't drop too low, go too high. For example, cortisol, just to name one, is a hormone in your body produced by your adrenal glands, a fight and flight kind of response that can cause you to become overly stressed emotionally and physically and wear you down. So that needs to be able to be controlled so that you don't go into that fight or flight mode too easily. That's just one example. But in addition to that, these particular adaptogens that I've chosen are also incredibly good for endurance with regard to working out, or even if you don't work out, endurance with respect to an entire day, getting through it with an even energy level. These are some of the, for those of you who do work out, these are some of the same ingredients that Soviet and Chinese athletes used when they broke distance records at a couple of Olympics, and they were sort of the secret behind those performances. All of this, of course, is legal and entirely natural, but that's added to this so that your body really can have those same nutrients as the top-level athletes that were competing against other top-level athletes. Additionally, what we wanted to do is turn up the emotional aspect to this, that is to say, the calmness, and we've done that. We've added a couple of ingredients from mind, a couple of ingredients that were actually in mind, because some of you said, man, I wish we had mind back and available for us. Well, we don't yet, but we've taken some of those key ingredients from mind. Which particular ingredients? Well, we've taken ones that will help memory, that's Bacopa, that will help you recall certain things that you may have thought you forgot. One of those ingredients is Bacopa. And other ingredients that are designed to give you a calm focus. There's an ingredient from green tea called L-theanine, and that helps you when you drink tea. It's sort of the difference between getting jittery from coffee and drinking a black or green tea. L-theanine, along with the caffeine, modulates that response. It helps you to have a calmness along with it without the jitters. L-theanine is a brain food as well. It will help you with those feelings of calmness and help your neurotransmitters. So that's in there as well. So we've turned that up. We have other ingredients that are designed to work with your blood sugar support as before, so that's turned up. Blood pressure support, that's turned up. Ultimately, and a big one that we've added to this, and some of these ingredients I've already named to go with this effect, but we have heard from people that pain relief was very quick and it was very effective, but some of you have said that you would like help with more substantial pain relief, maybe some systemic inflammatory effects or nerve pain to that extent. And we have designed this particular Restore to work with the endocannabinoid system, not using CBD, but with other ingredients. And these ingredients, one of them is magnolia extract. Magnolia extract is a very, very powerful anti-inflammatory. But what it additionally does is it works with your brain and it works with your central nervous system to turn down your perception of pain. So it doesn't just block the signal, but it actually turns down the inflammation and then deals with the pain signal as well that's getting to your brain. And another ingredient is a long one, palmitoethanolamide, or amide, depending on how you say it. But PEA is a very powerful ingredient that works with your endocannabinoid system in your body. In some ways, it's more powerful than CBD. And what that does is it takes the pain signals, the pain at your extremities. Perhaps you have a neuropathy or in your extremities, or you have another nerve problem, or you have systemic pain from an old injury. It will take that pain and turn it right down. So working together with magnolia extract, what you have is a 1-2 punch to deal with the pain signals in your brain and deal with the pain in your extremities, the nerve pain or the chronic pain that you might be experiencing. And PEA is a tremendously powerful anti-inflammatory as well. So the other thing about the dual purpose of magnolia extract and PEA together are that they both increase your mood. They turn down anxiety and they turn up the good mood, and not in an artificial way. It does it using your body's own chemistry in a very natural way. If it's out of balance, it will correct that balance. So very, very excited about those effects. We believe that this version of Restore, the pain relief effect from it will be faster than it even was before, way more powerful. And I believe that, to give you an example, some of you may have experienced back issues, back problems before. And I always like to tell Roger that when I know that some anti-inflammatory is working or pain relief is happening, if my back is really tight, and it just has that tight feeling, I can't really turn it and stretch it very effectively, it won't crack, and nothing will happen. I know that something's working when my entire back just feels loose. It all loosens up, and I can stretch, I can do all that again. I anticipate that this version of Restore for you will have that same effect and very rapidly. So to summarize, really what we've done is we've taken the 5 or 6 active ingredients that we had before. We have enhanced all of those effects, emotional effects, the pain relieving effects, the anti-inflammatory effects, the blood sugar support effects, the blood pressure support effects, and we've gone beyond that. The increased mood, pain relief, the ability of your body to maintain homeostasis, to deal with stress, the energy aspect to it will be turned way up. We've gone from, again, I don't know if Roger said this or not, but this new formula, even though the heart of it is the same, we have gone from about 5 or 6 active ingredients to 30. Now, that is not typical in most formulas. They don't stay the same or the same name. But I can tell you that the heart of this formula is exactly the same. The addition of these particular ingredients in specific amounts is the difference in going from amazing to spectacular, and not to hype it in a way that's inappropriate. But what I'm learning with these ingredients is how they work together and how we can incorporate them into an oil-based product is amazing, because we are able to use less, far less of any one single ingredient, but tune it far more specifically than almost any other technology that I've seen, perhaps different from any technology that I've ever seen, and Roger can attest to that. So I have the ability with this particular technology to tune each particular ingredient to work with the other ingredients in far smaller amounts than are normal in order to get very, very large effects that your body recognizes very, very quickly, and that's the XDS 2.0 technology. So we're very, very excited about the new Restore, very excited to get it out the door and begin shipping, and we're in that process right now, bottling and labeling and finalizing those to get ready to go out to you. So very excited about this Christmas time to be able to wish you a Merry Christmas and get this out the door as perhaps a little bit of a late present, but we do think a lot about all of you with health needs. We do pray for you, and we work hard to get these products out to you, to be able to bless you with that. So I'll give it back to you, Roger.
Thank you, Bevan. I want to just say something about the cannabinoid activators, those 2 ingredients that you had in there. One of the things we had to think about was the legality of putting CBD in our products. We decided not to put any of that in Restore, but he came up with what we think is a far better solution, and we can't wait for you to try that. We also have in development the next generation of Restore, the next generation of Rejuvenate, 2 versions of that will be coming through. That will use some of these same ingredients and others, but that will be the topical. So our real power pair, if you will, are Restore and Rejuvenate. So Rejuvenate, that will be the next second generation product that comes out. In the meantime, the Rejuvenate you got obviously is extraordinary. So. Okay, so I want to remind you that this is an interactive call. You can do *5 on your phone, and we'll be able to acknowledge your questions and your comments. I'm going to have Dr. Dan come on in a minute. I think I want to hear from a couple of people, though. I want to see if I was talking to her right before the call started, Pat Barhide. Pat, I don't know if you're where you can speak or not, but if you can, if you could do *5 on your phone, that'd be helpful. I want to talk to William Gray. Had a good conversation with him. Oh, great, Pat, I see your hand. And here's why I want to do this. Every time we put out a new version of the product, and Bevan, he's pushing the envelope all the time. It's critically important for us to get feedback from you as to, you know, what's working, how it was working, so we can tune it and tweak it and do better the next time. And so what we've got coming up this time, we've got anti-parasitic benefits in the existing formulation, in the black seed and the olive oil, olive leaf. All those things are really anti-parasitic. We want to, as we monitor what you tell us this time, we're looking very closely at Lyme disease, for example. That's an epidemic. And several people who will be taking this product and letting us know how good a job we're doing for them with the existing product, so that the next time we can tweak and tune even further. Another area that we wanted to go into, we've been following the cascade of things that happen following blood sugar issues. Blood sugar issues lead to blood pressure issues and systemic problems everywhere. We feel like we've really nailed that. We've done, the feedback you've given us on that has been very, very encouraging. But this next part of that cascade takes us down to renal issues. So people who are on dialysis and whatnot. And so, Bevan, you and I have had many conversations about this. I want to bring on William Gray. And I want him to help us out by, hey, William. William, we've talked several times. How many years was it that you were diabetic?
I've been a diabetic for almost 20 years.
Tell people what has happened as a result of that.
Well, due to it, I've had kidney failure, I've had heart failure, I've had tremendous amounts of arthritis, which I don't know is amounts to causes of diabetes, but I've been, during the last 6 months, I've got my A1C down to 5.3, and I've pretty well got my sugar under control. But when I started taking this new Restore, I was on dialysis, been on dialysis for over a year now, and I don't do regular blood analysis. I do peritoneal dialysis, and what that does is takes the liquid out of my peritoneal sac before it ever gets to my blood. And so consequently, right now my kidney functions are about a GFR 15, and when I had my failure, it was below 10. So it's helping me. And then but then I also had a aortic valve replacement in my heart and a pacemaker put in. And I was taking the Restore right after I had those operations, and the doctor that put in my pacemaker couldn't believe how fast I healed up. And in fact, they started me on cardiac rehab almost 2 months early because I'd healed up so good. And I attribute that to the Restore, because the other problem I have is arthritis in my back. And prior to taking Restore, I was taking some a medicine called Norco, which has opiates in it. And so I've got to be real careful about it, because I don't want to get addicted to it. So I don't take a lot, but just when I have extreme pain in my back. But after I started taking Restore, I haven't had to take any Norco at all. So that really helped my back pain. And I'm hoping that the new Restore is going to help my kidneys regain their function.
All right. Thank you for that, William. Stand by. We want to monitor your situation carefully as we go forward with the new version. I want to talk to Pat Barhide out in Denver now. Pat, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All righty.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit before this call. You'd had a condition that plagued you for a long time. Share with us, if you would, a little bit about that and how Restore benefited you the first time.
Well, I just had a lot of irregularity with my bowels, where it'd be runny and then it'd be constipated, and I had a lot of abdominal pain. And that was the thing I noticed about the Restore, is that I started being regular and I didn't have pain. And since I haven't been on it, now I'm back to the same condition. I've been really been miserable for about the last 3 weeks. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, it's good to hear from you. We're so glad, Bevan, that we're into the you don't have to be miserable anymore business, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Bevan, you there?
Also facing knee surgeries and an ankle fusion. I'm concerned about recovery because I have a lot of edema in my legs, and they said that the knee surgeries make the swelling worse and potential of blood clots. So I've been a little apprehensive about that. And I fight macular. So.
What was that last comment?
I said, and I'm fighting macular degeneration with injections.
Okay. So, Bevan, would you like to comment on what either one of them were saying?
Certainly. Some of the ingredients that I mentioned before as adaptogens help tremendously with recovery. Recovery from athletic exertion, but also recovery from physical conditions, surgery, healing, definitely. Also, one of the main things from day one that we designed, and I haven't talked about this, but Roger can attest to this, from day one with Restore, months and months and months ago, the first time we were going about it, a key part of the whole formula was eye health. And so with regard to retinal health, macular degeneration, the ability of the eye to focus, acuity effects, those have been big on the list. And I have added a couple of ingredients that are very, very good for eye health. One of those ingredients in this is bilberry leaf. That is wild blueberry, which is very, very good for eye health. But we've also turned up the levels of some of those other ingredients that are beneficial for that. So we'll be very interested to see how this does for your eyes, as well as your ability to heal in all your organ systems very, very fast. So we're very excited about this as far as the ability of the body to maintain homeostasis, but also the quickness of response that we anticipate from this with healing. So the whole goal of this is in the name, and that is restore. The goal is to take people back to the condition that they were before they were struggling with various conditions and diseases, to allow the body to heal itself. I do believe that there's a blessing of God that I ask for in the name of Jesus, who is the healer, the ultimate healer, and so I do put that on these products, especially with Restore, as the name implies. This is designed, and the goal is to restore people to that state of health that is natural for their body to be in. So we will be very, very excited to hear the effects that you experience with this new Restore.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Pat. Well, I guess we'll start with Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan, you there?
Yes, I'm here, Roger. I want to say something that you hear when Roger and I do these calls. He always says, well, Dr. Solloway has been in this field for 25 years and been studying it since I was 14, where my buddies wanted to have fast cars and looking at reading things about cars. I was into the physiology of the body and how to maximize it. But the reason I'm saying all that is Roger's right. I've seen almost everything out there. And I've taken almost everything that's in this product. I believe I've taken everything in here. But if you go to a health food store, take that list with you and start looking for bottles, ask us to help, start looking for bottles and take your calculator with you and looking for bottles that have these in there. It would cost you probably $800,000 to buy all these things, even at $35 a piece, or at least $600 with no trouble at all in that range. And normally I would have said, that when you stuff all these things into one product, you minimize the amount of things that you have in it. For instance, if you have 100 grams or 1,000 grams of something, and 1,000 grams of, oh, I don't know, 50 grams of this, and 50 grams or 100 grams of alpha-lipoic acid, 100 grams of or 300 micrograms of MK7, or CoQ10. Normally, I would say 200 milligrams of CoQ10. If you get all those different things and then add black seed and oil, you're going to have, in a normal nutritional product, you're going to have very little of those. I mean, you're going to have a gigantic, you're going to be swallowing a glass full of things to get that. So to try to put it into one product, it doesn't normally work. So you have to take all these different things. Well, because of the XDS technology, and I still don't know how Dr. Elliott does this, I hope someday to understand it, and I have quite a bit of understanding in this field. He can take a few milligrams of something and make it more powerful than if you took hundreds of milligrams of the same thing. By being able to do that, he's able to give you all the different things that have different effects on the body, antioxidant effects, causing different pathways to open up, other pathways, like there's certain pathways that are inflammatory in the body. There's other pathways that are anti-inflammatory. There's certain pathways and certain elements that cause the adrenal gland and the nervous system to calm down and be able to handle a higher level of stress. That's what adaptogen is. When I first read about it 25 years ago, I used to have a book on it, on what the Russians were doing with the athletes and the things they were doing. Well, we found a lot of things that they weren't doing yet that are in the adaptogen field. And a lot of people are walking around with adrenal fatigue. Then things that balance the blood sugar. When the man had blood sugar problems, wonder if it affects his heart. Of course it does. And it affects the eyes. It affects almost everything because insulin is inflammatory. His joints would be inflamed, elevated insulin. So being able to bring that under control affects everything in your body. Insulin needs to be within a certain narrow band, working within the body. And if it's jumping around too high, it's just as bad as the blood sugar jumping around. People that say, well, I'm just going to take a bigger shot of insulin. You have to do that when your blood sugar is way up there. And yet at the same time, that insulin is destructive to the body too. Causes the blood vessels to get thicker. It causes inflammation, causes destruction probably of brain cells and everything else when it's too high, just like elevated blood sugar does. So this product is coming at the physiology of the body from different angles. You know, anti-inflammatory, balancing the blood sugar, giving antioxidants to protect the DNA and the mitochondria, energizing the mitochondria, helping the body create more mitochondria. And then the cannabidiol receptor sites throughout the body. Your brain is full of CBD receptor sites, CBD1, CBD2. I have a company as a sponsor of mine that's the largest CBD company in the world, I believe. They're on the stock market, CV Sciences. And they right now are doing $70 million a year. They're in 9,000 health food stores because people get such benefit from activating those CBD receptors that normally only get activated when you're breastfed. And then they found out CBD will do it. They used to think marijuana is the only way you can get it, but you can get it that way. Now I just learned you don't need CBD to activate them. And yet that's a $70 million business for just one company. We have companies here in Oklahoma City. One has like 85 stores, I think about 40 of them right here in Oklahoma City, because people are craving CBD. Now we have a version of that, and without using the actual CBD, but maybe getting even a better effect. So all the benefits from that. This is truly amazing what we got here. I mean, from so many different angles. And it wouldn't be possible without this XDS technology, without being able to take all these different elements and put them together, and yet not having where you had to take a glass full of nutrients to get that effect. Because now it's delivered, like I always explain, if I sit on the back of my porch and point a flashlight towards the moon, it'll get maybe a mile and it'll diffuse, and that's about as far as it's going to go. If I have a pretty good, powerful laser and point it towards the moon, I can put a quarter-size dot on the moon. Well, they're both light. They're both, but one, all the light molecules, all the photons are lined up and moving like a marching band right together. The other ones bounce around and go in all kinds of different directions, so it diffuses itself. Well, that's what the XCS technology is. It's taking these things, putting just the right proportion, not too much of anything, and I think there's more to it than what I understand. But it's delivering those right into the mitochondria, and then we're seeing effects that I wouldn't believe possible. I didn't believe they'd be possible on myself on some of the effects I saw. But things like Noel, walking with crutches all his life, from cerebral palsy, now walking without him. He believes it's from these ingredients that are in this product. Terrence, vision going from 100 over 20 to right now 50 or 40 over 20, seeing in black and white, now starting to see color. Being able to use his right hand, people with neuropathy, all these different things. These ingredients are fantastic that way, but they don't. But a lot of people have them, but they don't have a way to get them to where they need to go, and that's what separates this company. It's not before. It's like throwing flour in the air, and a little bit's going to land where you want it. Now you're taking a funnel and putting it right into the doorways of the cell and the doorways of the mitochondria, and feeding those things, and they become youthful again, and everything gets balanced out. So, folks, you're sitting on a gold mine. If all we did is activate the CBD receptor sites, as I said, there's a number of companies. It's going to be a $20 billion business in just a few years. Well, we're doing the same thing, but a far more comprehensive way, far more. And so I'm excited. I'm very excited about this. And, Roger, I want to get a copy of this as soon as we're done. I have a lot of people I want to about it.
I do want to say one more thing, and that is with regarding the endocannabinoid system. And we don't know how powerful that system is because it's a very, very regulatory system with regard to neurotransmitters, pain signals, et cetera. But I mentioned magnolia extract, and I also mentioned a molecule called PEA. Those together are very powerful, as I alluded to, but one thing that makes magnolia extract unique is it has two active compounds in a particular ratio. They're called hinokiol and magnolol. Most people focus on hinokiol. In the past, I worked a lot with hinokiol. Hinokiol is the supposedly more powerful anti-inflammatory among the two of them, more powerful antioxidant. But there's a certain thing about nature, and that is if you decide to dig in deeper and understand why plants have multiple actives and why they're there together, then you begin to find out what it's really supposed to act like. And the cool thing about the two active ingredients in magnolia extract, hinokiol and magnolol, is that each one of them activates a different CB receptor, that is, those receptors that THC and CBD affect. And mostly you're dealing with one of those receptors. But magnolol and hinokiol together affect both CB1 and CB2 by acting as what are called agonists. That is to say, you upregulate the activity of those receptors, which means that those neurotransmitters, those particular functional molecules in your body that really can do amazing things are made more sensitized, more powerful in your body. So that particular aspect is just one thing that I want to highlight, that most people, when they're working with CBD or another particular set of endocannabinoids by themselves, don't see the effects of. When you can really potentiate the CB1 and CB2 receptor in your body, amazing things can happen. So that's just one thing I'm excited about. That goes from anti-inflammatory effects and pain effects to mood effects. It just crosses right over. And so we're very, very excited about that.
Outstanding. So let me, Bevan, tell people what else to expect in terms of the packaging. This has been so powerful, so concentrated with this version that you're doing right now, that previously you had 2 bottles that was a month worth. We've been able to shrink that down to 1.
Wow. That's correct.
Right?
We're going to 1 bottle of the same size that we had before instead of 2. In that 1 bottle, we have turned up the potency of the olive effects, the black seed oil effects tremendously without changing the taste of the black seed oil portion of it. We've gone about twice as strong on the black seed oil constituents. And then, as I said before, we've gone from about 5 or 6 functional ingredients to 30. And it seems counterintuitive to think about going from 2 bottles to 1 and going from 5 ingredients to 30. But again, that's part of the XDS technology. If you can find the synergistic ingredients and you can use less than normal and have them working together, then we can shoehorn it all in, so to speak, and make it stronger at the same time with less volume. So it'll taste just a little bit different, not a whole lot different, not enough to really make a difference. We're working on different maybe flavor profiles depending on your feedback, but it shouldn't be all that different from what you've experienced before. So we're really excited to be able to make it easier to take at a smaller dose with far more effects than before.
Okay, Dr. Dan.
I'm excited, really excited. I'm a nutritional nerd. I really never have used that term for myself before, but I realize how ecstatic I am about this, because my job all these years is to find things that make a difference in people's lives. And so I really want to see what we have when we put it out in the field and the kind of feedback we get. We've already got extraordinary feedback on Generation 1 or Generation 2. Now Generation 3. Boy, this is going to be an exciting thing, folks. What a new year, 2020. I mean, my body's already functioning like it did 15 years ago, and I'd like to see where it goes. This is exciting, folks. You have something in your hand, and no telling where this will go. I mean, I think my friend's company is $70 million a year, just activating part of what we're going to be able to do. I don't know where we're going to go, but this has so much promise. So tell your friends and family. Let them have a life-changing year coming up. Get back to you, Roger.
All right. Bevan, any final thoughts before we let everybody go?
Just this. It's a pleasure, honestly. I talk to Roger every day. I not as often talk to Dr. Dan and Dr. Boswell, but I am honored to be working with them and with Roger and with others on this. And it really is a good day for me when we can get this product out the door, get it finished and out the door, because everything I do leading up to this is all preparation for this, and it's why I do what I do. And we are not interested in manufacturing products that are Me Too products. We're not interested in doing stuff that's, and Roger we've been on hours and hours and hours of calls concerning this topic. We're not interested in doing something that's good enough or that's the same as other people or even better than other people. We want the best. We're not satisfied with anything less than that. And so we continually are innovating. This is the next step. As Roger said, I'm working on right now getting samples of the new Rejuvenate. That's not out yet. Rejuvenate is still wonderful and available, but we're working on the next generation of that product as well, which is not too far away. So we're very excited to continue to innovate, to continue to, led by your feedback in part, do better. and make products that really, really restore people's health, help them get back to where they need to be emotionally and physically as much as we can. So we're grateful to be doing this, and it's our privilege to work with you on these products. Thank you.
All right. I want to thank everybody for being on the call and for being the very best part of Fox Legacy. Have a good weekend.